What happens when America's most down-to-earth talk show host meets one of the world's most controversial royals and decides not to follow the expected path? The moment Meghan Markle stepped onto the Kelly Clarkson Show, everyone behind the scenes anticipated a smooth, pleasant interview about recovery, fresh start, and discovering her authentic self. What they witnessed was something entirely different. A gradual, intense confrontation between Kelly's genuine warmth and Meghan's cold detachment. Before the opening segment concluded, everyone in the studio could sense it. This wasn't simply another celebrity conversation. This was tension building beneath those brilliant studio lights. The Kelly Clarkson Show set sparkled in gentle shades of teal, pink, and golden amber illumination spilling across the wooden platform. The massive LED screen behind the sofa displayed the show's branding and shimmering visuals. The crowd hummed with energy, that recognizable upbeat Kelly atmosphere saturating the space. Kelly entered, microphone in hand, beaming as people applauded. She gestured enthusiastically, chuckled, did her signature little spin, then dropped into her seat with the comfort of someone who truly enjoyed being present. "Everyone," she said, catching her breath while grinning. "My upcoming guest is definitely someone you recognize. She's been featured in more news stories than I could possibly mention. Previous actress, previous working royal, advocate, podcast host. Please give a warm welcome to Meghan Markle." The crowd clapped enthusiastically, some genuinely excited, others simply intrigued. Meghan emerged wearing a black outfit, each gesture measured, each expression carefully crafted. She offered a restrained wave, nothing excessive or informal, and embraced Kelly in a manner that appeared genuine from a distance but felt detached up close. "Thanks so much for inviting me," Meghan stated, settling into her position, crossing her legs with deliberate elegance. Her expression was flawless. Her gaze told a different story. "Hey, appreciate you coming," Kelly responded, warmth in her tone. "I understand you've got countless commitments, so I'm grateful you carved out time." Meghan angled her head slightly. "Well," she answered with a cool edge, "I believe I do whatever I can to help others comprehend me properly." The crowd gave a courteous chuckle, though something pointed beneath those words caused several people to shift uncomfortably. Kelly registered it, though she maintained her pleasant demeanor, the way she consistently did. All right," Kelly said, bringing her palms together. "We're starting easy. I give you my word. You've been residing in the States for some time now. How does existence here compare to, well, everything that came before?" Meghan leaned backward in her position, chin elevated just enough. "America," she stated, "feels like a location where I can actually breathe, where I'm not perpetually required to put on a smile or perform according to somebody else's definition of proper behavior." She briefly glanced toward the crowd. "I imagine that's unfamiliar territory for certain individuals." Kelly laughed gently, attempting to maintain the lightness. "Well, I think everyone's performing for someone these days. Instagram, relatives, school meetings, whatever it might be," she said playfully. "But I understand your point. Are you experiencing more contentment now?" Meghan's expression grew slightly rigid. "Contentment is subjective," she responded. "I wouldn't characterize my existence in brief catchphrases. It's more substantial than that." Then it appeared. That subtle air of superiority that seemed out of place against the vibrant, welcoming environment surrounding them. "Absolutely," Kelly said, nodding thoughtfully. "Well, one thing folks do observe frequently is your activities, your charitable organization, your various endeavors. You discuss service often, psychological wellness, giving people strength. What's been the most significant aspect of this new phase for you?" Meghan exhaled as though the inquiry was somehow inadequate. "Significant," she repeated. "I believe phrasing it that way overlooks the essential point. Service isn't about personal satisfaction. It's about addressing what requires attention, regardless of whether anyone acknowledges you." Then she included with a deliberate little expression, "You'd be amazed how many interviewers overlook that detail." The crowd produced an awkward chuckle. Kelly blinked briefly, then maintained her pleasant expression, unaffected on the exterior. "Hey, I don't object to acknowledging service," Kelly answered easily. I'll recognize anyone raising funds or assisting others. I acknowledge my children when they consume vegetables, so I'm pretty accommodating. The audience laughed authentically this round. Kelly embraced that positive energy momentarily, then transitioned into more complex territory the production team had arranged. You understand, Meghan, she proceeded carefully. Many individuals watching from home hold mixed perspectives about your journey. Some respect you, some have concerns. When you reflect on everything, the royal existence, departing, the public discussions, the published material, do you hold any second thoughts about how you've presented your narrative? Meghan's expression sharpened instantly. Second thoughts? She said, the phrase almost sounding insulting to her. Individuals who question the truth are typically people who weren't sincere. I stood behind every statement. What I might question is that society still lacks sufficient intelligence in certain areas to grasp complexity. A wave moved through the audience. Some chuckled nervously, others looked concerned. Kelly's pleasant demeanor wavered slightly, though she maintained it. Complexity is certainly challenging on social platforms. That's undeniable, Kelly responded, preserving her casual tone. However, some individuals don't believe they're receiving the complete picture. They encounter different accounts of situations in various discussions, and they become puzzled. Is that difficult to observe from your vantage point? Meghan released a gentle, joyless laugh. Individuals who are puzzled, she stated, typically haven't been attentive, or they're absorbing tabloid publications and random podcasts rather than listening to me directly. She regarded Kelly with a cool, evaluating stare. That's essentially the challenge, isn't it? Everyone desires to feel involved in my narrative, yet very few are genuinely willing to comprehend it. Kelly's fingers contracted around her stack of prepared questions for a brief instant. She loosened them equally quickly, smoothing the uppermost card with her thumb. Well, she said carefully, since you're present here, I believe it's reasonable to say my viewers want to receive it directly from you. So, let's discuss Harry for a moment. The crowd responded with interested murmurs, leaning forward. We all observed you both stepping away from royal responsibilities. We viewed the public conversations, the documentary series. How is he managing currently as a spouse, as a father, as simply Harry? For the initial time, Meghan's demeanor shifted. Something resembling defensiveness appeared, blended with frustration. Harry is doing well, she replied. He doesn't require constant public wellness checks. Individuals discuss him as though he's a television personality instead of an actual human being. He's my spouse, not a storyline character. Kelly nodded, remaining composed. Sure, I comprehend that. I'm divorced. I've experienced my existence being scrutinized. I understand how. Yes, Meghan interrupted with a faint courteous expression that seemed anything but genuine. But respectfully, your situation is different. I believe sometimes Americans prefer to reduce everything into relatability. Certain existences simply aren't comparable. The crowd reacted noticeably. Some gasped, others whispered, a few laughed uncomfortably. Kelly's gaze moved to the audience and returned, that Texas friendliness cooling slightly,